Good afternoon, everyone. It's Father Neil. It's Wednesday, June 23rd, coming a day early because I'll be at my new parish tomorrow for the day. So I want to give you my final video update as my term will be ending, and this Sunday, the 10th, the 10 o'clock Mass will be my last Mass here at the parish. A very difficult time for me, and I understand for a lot of you as well. It's been 15 years. It's been a big investment of my life and your life and mine, and it's been a long journey. A lot of wonderful things have happened along the way, and unfortunately it's time to say goodbye. But goodbye simply means God be with you, and certainly God is always with us. God is here at St. Robert's and will be long after I leave, and God is going to be with us down in Westchester at Mary Mother of Divine Grace, because there are good people everywhere, just ones I haven't met yet. So my final thoughts really are about moving forward. Grieving, yes, because things will change, but also moving forward, but remembering who we are. Because St. Robert's is not closing, it's uniting with St. Constance, so it'll be a blend of who we are and how we can move forward together. So what is the soul of St. Robert's to you? That's really an important question, and are you individually going to make a commitment to be part of that moving forward? I look at all the wonderful traditions that have made such a big difference here. I've always loved First Communions and confirmations, and those, of course, are important in any parish, but different here, in a very personal way with generations of families. I've been looking through the sacramental books recently and through the death and marriage and baptism registers, and can't believe where the time goes and all the people who have touched my life. Some I don't know, because when I first came, of course, I wouldn't know people that were here, and some are relatives of people that are here. But it's a wonderful gift to share life and story and faith with all of you. And so remember all of those good things. I think our Triduum liturgies are incredibly special and different than many other places. I'll always remember, of course, the Christmas Eve Masses, May crowning. All those wonderful things are part of who we are. Other things like the Bellarmine Bash, which was the Harvest Gala, certainly things like casino nights and bingo, and before that, we've had a lot of other things going on here, social events. One of the great things we always had was Enzo's Christmas party down in the hall, where a lot of old-time parishioners came back to visit and support the parish. Later on, of course, it was run by the Holy Name Society, and maybe you all can revitalize that men's group and see how we can move forward there. So lots of wonderful things. Comedy nights, sports, scouting events, all those things that are part of our traditions of who we are, and some will change and many will keep, and we'll try to move forward with all of them. Of course, part of the ethos and the spirit of St. Robert's is the Sisters of Notre Dame. And it's hard to believe. I was looking back through some old things, bulletins and articles, and they left 3 years ago to go to the Mother House, so it's been 3 years. And before that, they've been here since 1931. And that's just a wonderful gift. And so many of you knew the sisters, many of you were taught by the sisters. They were still a presence even after they retired from the school and were still here on the campus. And we're losing a little bit of that as memories fade and as new people come in. But the wonderful thing about the sisters is they're always welcoming, always trying to help, always shedding Christ's love wherever they went. And, that's a gift. And Sister Anne had a particular gift of remembering names. Somebody could come back 15 years after graduation. She hadn't seen him, but she knew instantly who it was. Mary Lou remembered the children, Sister Leah, all the things they taught. People remember them very well and hopefully carry that piece of Notre Dame spirituality in their hearts. I still see them on occasion on video, and certainly some of the fundraisers for the sisters out in Ohio are important because it keeps the mission of life alive. And their motto, "How good is the good God?" sounds a little trite. Remember, it's coming from 18th century French piety, but it means that God is good. And can we see that in our lives, in our community, in our neighbors, in one another? And can we share that? Because that is part of the ethos of St. Robert. And St. Robert Bellarmine, of course, was a great Jesuit saint that taught, right, that the best thing to do is to celebrate the faith together and honor the children and teach the faith and take care of the poor and simply be very humble. And he never forgot his Jesuit vows of poverty and simplicity. And so those are hard to find in our world today, as we're all busy and we've got so much technology and material goods that are necessary in some ways in today's life, but also we've become owned by some of them. And so those are the kinds of things that the church has always kind of said, put them in perspective, and that's why it's so important that we continue that ethos, that family and faith and community come first. And of course, the children, they need to be nurtured and loved and trained and taught and loved so that they can all know that they're children of God. And so those are some of the things that I think that as we move forward, as some of the things that are going on and will be going on, whether it's the Unification Committee and looking for feedback for things like mass schedules and how we're going to do things and what some of the social life is going to be as we get through the summer and prepare to reopen. The school will be open in the fall. Our religious faith classes will become back to normal. And so we'll have all those things, looking for catechists and looking for volunteers for all the events. But one of the things about volunteering that I think is lost, it's not something we're just asking you to do to take up more of your time. It's how we get enriched by being part of the community and sharing, and then we're enriched by it. You know, in the mission in Haiti, which we haven't really supported much the last couple of years, it's a many hands make work light, and that's the motto of the orphanage. And so if we do that together, we work together. We've seen that in COVID. We've seen that in the natural disasters, neighbors coming together to support one another. And we shouldn't have to wait for tragedy before we do that. And so that's St. Robert Bellarmine. And I'm sure it's true in other ways at other parishes. But here, for 15 years, I've gotten to know you, and hopefully, and you've gotten to know me. And we've worked together and lived together and cried together and celebrated together, and all these things are what make parish so important. And so it's time for me to say farewell. You know, God be with you, and time to welcome Father Robert and Father Brendan and the people of St. Constance. We already do many things together. Don't let the differences or the language barrier for some of the people there that don't want to merge either get in the way of what the mission is, which is to share Jesus Christ with one another by being loving and caring for one another. A lot of good things happening at St. Constance. We can learn from some of them. We can work together on some of that. But please be open. In a special way, too, I think it's really important that we remember the people at Our Lady of Victory who are losing their parish after well over 100 years. Gift to the neighborhood for so long, and they've been through such hard times with watching their school close and attendance decline and seeing the writing on the wall, and the fact that it may be necessary or a sign of the changing times doesn't make it any less painful or harmful for the people who were there. I was anointing a woman who'd been in the parish 65 years last week or so, and you know, all the children, the adult children, the grandchildren, they're part of the community, and they're sad that this part of their life is closing. So to hold on to them in prayer, to hold on to the good things, that even as we let go, we still remember and we still share and we still want to pass on. It will metamorphose into something else, and something is lost, but something will be gained. So please keep the people of Our Lady of Victory in your prayers and welcome those who want to join our community. And remember that God is with us always. And I'm only half an hour away in Westchester if there's no traffic, and I certainly plan to come back and visit, and certainly you're all welcome anytime down in Westchester as well. And to know that we're still family, and St. Robert's will always be a part of my heart. At 66 years old, I thought I would be retiring from here down the road. That's not going to be the case. God is opening another door. But at the same time, while it's sad, it's also a new opportunity. And perhaps it is time to bring something new, some new ways of looking at things into our parish and our neighborhood. And so, because we couldn't keep doing what we're doing with, you know, the church kind of in free fall for the last 30 years throughout the country with declining attendance, contributions, seemingly irrelevant in the culture. How do we pass on what's good that we know and we keep in our hearts? How do we pass that on into the community, and not just to our own families and friends, but to non-Catholics and non-Christians, to say they're part of the family of this neighborhood, and we want to make that a vibrant place, and where St. Robert's continues to be a place of welcoming and help for all who can come here. So a lot of deep thoughts today, nothing a whole lot going on in the parish. I mean, the usual stuff that we're doing with summer cleaning and capital projects and getting ready and things like that. The big thing, of course, will be how do Father Robert and Father Brendan come in and join us in the transition at two parishes. Neither one of them has done that before. I've never done that before. So there are going to be some halting steps along the way, probably some going down some blind alleys or even mistakes. But we have to keep coming back to what's truly important and say, okay, we went down a blind alley here, let's get back on track and see how we can move forward as a parish, as a unified parish. and more importantly, as the people of God, because God and the people of God transcend all parish boundaries, all neighborhoods, even though, of course, faith and family is local and has to be expressed locally and honored locally. There is a bigger picture. And I invite you to treasure what we have, preserve it, and take it on in the future, but be open to all the new things that might be life-giving as well. God bless you, and stay safe and happy.